were the ones who actually drafted the new bill for this law. And here it is. Public Law 103-417 from October 25th, 1994.
So what started as an attempt to regulate supplements actually turned into a law that is friendly to the industry, and the reason we have this.
I mean, I love when you're like neck deep in one of these laws and you just see a statement that just makes it so clear, like, who was influencing this law. Check this out. This law just straight up says that the federal government should not take any actions to impose unreasonable regulatory barriers towards this industry. And especially, says the law, this industry is really lucrative. It has annual sales of $4 billion. Congress wouldn't want to slow that down. So then the big kicker here, one of the key parts of the law is that they specify that supplement, the thing in this bottle, is not classified as medicine. It's classified as food. That's how the FDA should treat it, as food. But supplements are not food in the same way a bag of Doritos is food. They're much more complicated, but we'll get back to that in a sec. The point is that this law gave the industry a lot of freedom, including what kind of claims they could make. The law gave them the authority to say a lot of things about what their health supplement does for people, as long as they include this one disclaimer. I'm looking at Genius Mushrooms. The product says that it is healthy immune system support, energy, and clarity. Sounds great. But then here on the back, in very, very, very small, teeny tiny, almost illegible font, let's zoom in here, you will see a teeny tiny statement that complies with the law. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food Administrator. This product is not intended to diagnose. It's like right there in the fine print that no one is reading. What people are reading is this: healthy immune system support, energy, and clarity. I mean, the law is so friendly to the industry. It allows these companies to effectively regulate themselves. The law makes it clear that it's the government's job to go prove that something is adulterated or wrong, rather than making the companies prove that their products are safe before they go to market. I mean, it's totally backwards.
We do not approve them for safety and effectiveness before they are sold. Companies are responsible for ensuring their products are safe.
So, thanks to this 1994 law, supplement makers were very happy because now they don't have to tell the FDA anything. They don't have to prove that their claims are effective. They just have to put a little tiny fine print disclaimer. And the FDA has no real enforcement regime. They only really step in a big way after the supplement is proven to be hurting people. Any authority they do have to check on these supplements has to be done with their shoestring budget. This was Congress giving the supplement industry a blank check, telling them they can do what you want, we can't regulate you, it's now the law. And this is why the industry went from a $4 billion industry in the early 90s to a $53 billion industry today. This is why Americans are now inundated with capsules and pills and drops and creams and teas that claim to make your body work better. But this is confusing because supplements actually do have a place in our lives for certain people who need certain things that their body can't make. So one of my questions going into all of this is like, what of this is legit? Is any of it, or is it all just snake oil? What does the science actually say? There's been a lot of good study on this, and luckily we got one of those amazing things where they do a study of all of the studies and they put it all together and they say this is what all the studies have concluded over the years, like a good old meta-analysis. This meta-analysis, which used 84 studies and put it all together to find conclusions, found that vitamins and supplements were generally, quote, associated with little or no benefit in preventing cancer, cardiovascular disease, and death. Had a little bit of a benefit on treating cancer if you already have it. They also found that people with a high risk of lung cancer had an, quote, increased risk of lung cancer and other harmful outcomes by taking one vitamin, beta-carotene. So what this basically is saying is that vitamins don't work for like the big things, preventing the killers like cancer and heart problems, and they maybe even hurt us in some cases, depending on the supplement. But in reading these conclusions, you start to realize just how complex this is. There are like thousands of different supplements, and there are like innumerable numbers of individual bodies that have different chemistry and different experiences. It starts to get confusing to find a satisfying conclusion. So we asked our experts, do supplements actually make us healthier in any way?
Many doctors would suggest that you don't need to take supplements at all unless you have a deficiency.
Deficiency, that's the key word here. So like maybe my body doesn't naturally produce enough vitamin C, or I don't get it in my food, then a supplement would be useful.
If you're a strict vegan, you have, very strong dietary restrictions for whatever reason, those people probably are good candidates for taking a multivitamin.
That's a situation where it makes a lot of sense. But most of us don't need to do that. Whenever there's a situation where all the humans in a society need a certain substance that they're not getting, the government goes wild to make it happen. Like there was a time when we all were deficient in iodine. So to fix this, the government worked with salt makers to just put iodine in salt. So now all of us use it all the time, and we just have enough iodine because there's iodine in all of our salts. I guess what I'm saying here is that most of us check off all of our vitamins and mineral needs by living and eating a variety of foods. But of course, within our population, there are people who can't produce enough of a certain vitamin. Or like this YouTuber who just ate chicken tenders every single day. I mean, they should probably take some vitamins. Like you have to eat a variety of foods to get all your vitamins and minerals. And luckily, here in the 21st century, we have a test to find out how you're doing on this. It's a blood test. They take your blood, they test it, and they find out how you're doing on vitamins and minerals and what you might be deficient in, and thus what supplements might actually work for you. And yet, 252 million Americans are popping $53 billion worth of supplements every year. And most of them probably don't need to be taking anything. Okay, so if I don't need all of this, but I'm taking like a fistful of vitamins every day, where does it all go?
You're just peeing out all of the excess, and it might give you glow-in-the-dark urine, which is pretty cool, but it's a large waste of your dollars.
Here's a full disclosure that may be surprising to you. I take vitamins and supplements sometimes. Like I got sent this green powder from like a sponsor who's like thinking about sponsoring a video on the channel. And I totally drank it like every day. It's like a vitamin supplement. It has like a billion different vitamins in it. And I was like, maybe I need one of these. Even though my blood test doesn't say I do, what if I actually do? What if it's actually gonna help? And I tell you that to let you know that like this isn't easy. This is not an easy thing to navigate. We're hit with all of these messages of like, improve your mental clarity, like increased energy. And you're just like, is any of this real? What I'm finding is that most of it is not. But what to me is ethically wrong is when people turn to supplements because they've been lied to, or because they don't trust or can't afford other forms of treatment. In other words, when they're desperate.
Surveys of American sentiment show that pharmaceutical companies have lower approval ratings than Congress, which is, that's pretty bad. And again, in many ways, rightly so. The profiteering off medications is, in my opinion, quite unethical.
So we hate pharmaceutical companies, for good reason maybe, but we suddenly trust supplement companies? We trust vitamins and the industry that makes them? Okay, so just quick recap. Supplements are the Wild West in the United States. They've been very poorly regulated. The industry's gone wild. They can make these wild claims. And a lot of us are maybe wasting our money and peeing out supplements that we don't need. Is that the scope of the problem here? Just that we're wasting our money and we're being falsely advertised to? Doesn't seem that bad. That is until you realize that not all supplements are harmless. The law says that supplements should be regulated like food, but they aren't food. There's a lot of complicated work that goes into creating a high-quality, safe supplement. It's a complex process of manufacturing, making sure that the substances are pure, the dosage is correct, and it can go wrong very easily.
23,000 people a year, in fact, go to the emergency room after taking a supplement.
Supplement makers don't have to prove that their products are safe.
It was unbelievable what we found.
False and unsubstantiated claims.
Remember L-tryptophan? Back in like the 80s, people were taking it and they were thinking it was going to help with their insomnia and helping them lose weight, and yet it caused thousands of illnesses and dozens of deaths. One of the big problems with that was likely due to contamination within the supplement, not necessarily the substance itself. A few years ago, there was a supplement that came out that was supposed to regulate blood circulation, but it ended up having lead in it. It caused all sorts of lead poisoning and 2 deaths. A few years later, the FDA seized 300,000 dietary supplements because they had an excessive amount of lead in them. That was from one corporation. The FDA isn't monitoring all of these supplements, but luckily scientists are. There's this 2018 study that found that 92% of the supplements that they studied had bacterial contamination, and 87% had fungal contamination, which can be really damaging for your body. I'm not going to go down a whole literature review here because there's so much of this. Let's just say there's a lot of instances of supplements being found to be contaminated. Okay, let me just tell you one more example here that is just such a good example of the abuse of the lack of regulation here. There's this one plant called kratom. I don't know, here in the US, I feel like I see it everywhere in every strip mall. It's like kratom signs. It's made from this evergreen tree leaf, and it's sold in the form of powder and pills and extracts. It sounds totally natural and fresh, and I can see why it's doing so well on the market. But once again, kratom has been linked to hundreds of cases of salmonella poisoning. And there's the fact that it's highly addictive, especially to those who have had opioid addictions, which is, if you haven't heard, a giant problem in our country. It has been deemed to be the cause of death for 91 people who had overdoses in 2016 and 2017, though only 7 of those people were found to only have kratom in their body. There were other drugs in the overdose as well. But what we're saying here is that this can be dangerous stuff. It's not just food like the law wants it to be. The FDA urged the DEA to classify this as a Schedule I drug, which is the classification for heroin, but it's a dietary supplement, just like down the road at the local convenience store. Speaking of drugs, some supplements are kind of just like drugs in disguise.
So what we're really seeing is that in a lot of those cases, they're putting in synthetic drugs, which sometimes are prescription drugs and sometimes are products that are not approved by the FDA.
One study found that over the last decade, more than 750 supplements were illegally spiked with drugs. Only half of them were ever recalled. Wait, why can they do this? Why can they just put drugs, like illegal drugs, into supplements? Because of this law that the industry helped pass in the 90s that says that none of this has to get any approval from the FDA. The FDA only steps in when something goes wrong, when the damage is already done. So backwards. And these companies can get pretty aggressive. A few years ago, the academics who revealed that these supplement companies were spiking their supplements with illegal drugs got sued by one of these companies, a company called High-Tech Pharmaceuticals. The company ended up losing the lawsuit, but what it revealed is that this company had been selling a product that they had been ordered to stop selling, to recall, and they just never did. There's so little oversight happening here. And again, it's a giant industry with a lot of money and a lot of products, and it's an FDA that is very small with very little money and not a lot of authority to do much. And as we mentioned at the very beginning of the video, when researchers went in and just popped open some of these bottles and studied the pills, they found that a lot of these supplements don't actually have what they say they have. They're a totally different substance, but none of us know because you don't know what calcium tastes like.
Literally, there have been studies that have shown some supplements have no detectable amount of the thing that it says is supposed to be in there.
No detectable amount. And then we've got good old melatonin. I love melatonin when I need it. That gummy that helps us all get a good night's sleep. But it's not a sleeping pill, right? Because it's natural.
Melatonin poisonings in children have been on the rise over the past decade.
Well, actually, melatonin is not a vitamin. It is a hormone that you naturally produce. It helps induce sleep. And it's kind of been trending over the last few years, especially among children. Over the past decade, the number of children who have overdosed on melatonin went up 530%, causing kids to experience symptoms like vomiting and diarrhea. A lot of that is because of dosage problems. In some cases, they found that the dose is 50% higher than what was on the label.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration doesn't have any control of the ingredients or the accuracy of dosage claims.
We talked to one guy who started a Reddit forum because he was taking lion's mane, which is a mushroom supplement, and it was causing a mysterious illness. He thought it was going to give him energy and mental clarity like it says on the bottle, but instead what he experienced was heart palpitations, sleepless nights.
I couldn't sleep for 8 months straight. By that I say more than 1 or 2 hours a night.
When he started the subreddit, he found thousands of others who reported a whole host of neurological issues, chronic tension headaches, a lack of emotion. One user's husband took his life after not being able to sleep, having constant panic attacks and losing his job over it. He was 43.
I'd been to the hospital about 20 times the first 2 months. I've seen basically every specialist that I could get a hold of, and really nobody could tell me what was going on.
These people come to Reddit because they don't have any answers. They bought a supplement that looked legitimate, promising mental clarity and focus and energy, and had their lives completely changed. That's because our government failed. We have a government to protect us against exactly these types of things. But instead, people are turning to Reddit to find answers. To me, this is the most atrocious version of supplements. We actually reached out to the FDA as a part of this story to understand, like, what's the deal? Why is it like this? And they responded, and we scheduled an interview. We were going to discuss dietary supplements and regulation in the United States. But then the day before the interview, they canceled our meeting and then just ghosted us. Luckily, we have clips of former FDA commissioners talking about this, and they all seem to agree that this is a problem of authority and resources.
Will the FDA ever regulate this industry?
We tried.
So, what can be done here? Well, luckily we live in a system where we can make change by changing laws. Like in the 90s, we almost did this. If the Congress had given the FDA more power, we would have stricter punishments for supplement companies who break the rules. We would have better rules around what they can sell and what claims they can make.
We should at least be able to agree that all the companies should have to prove that they don't have bacterial or fungal contamination, that they don't have heavy metals, that they're not containing prescription drugs, and that they do contain the product in the dose that's specified in the pills that they're putting on their label.
I would like purity and that people know what they're getting. I mean, we owe it to consumers at the very least that if you're going to choose to buy it, you should at least know what you're getting. That seems like the bare minimum, and right now that's not the case.
The experts we talked to don't think that supplements should be regulated like drugs. I think that makes sense. But they agree that we should start with giving the FDA the authority and the resources it needs to monitor supplements so we know what's actually in them, so that we're not trusting the honor system of for-profit companies to obey the rules and to actually put in these supplements what they say is in these supplements. This would mean the FDA going and conducting spot checks more often and more aggressively to make sure that this stuff is correct and that it's being manufactured in a clean way, free of contamination. Congress has recently considered a bill that would help with this, including trying to create a database of all the supplements so that the FDA at least knows what's on the market. But of course, the supplement lobby's not going to stand back. They spend over $2 million a year on lobbying, making sure that things stay the way they are. They make a lot of money off it. So if you are one of the many millions who take a bunch of supplements and are not sure if they're spiked with weird stuff or if you even need them, what do you do? And the answer is go get your blood tested and just see if you're deficient in anything, if you actually need a dietary supplement. And even if your blood test comes back and you don't need anything, I believe that people should be able to consume whatever they want, even if it's not scientifically proven. You know your body. You should be able to take whatever vitamin or mineral you feel is working for you. I just think that when you have a for-profit industry that is free to mislead and deceive and prey on consumers, you get a bunch of bad situations like the ones we've talked about here. So until the government steps in to help us navigate this, we're kind of on our own. I'm going to put some links in the description to third-party websites that you can go to look up your supplements, the specific supplements, and see if they've passed a high quality standard to know if at least you're getting what it says on the bottle. So that's where we're at with supplements. We're here waiting for transparency and accountability, and above all, waiting for the regard of others' well-being over the interests of an industry that seems to care more about profit than about our health. Thanks for watching the video, everyone. Thank you, Copilot, for sponsoring today's video. Copilot found that people are 9 times more likely to stick with a workout routine if they're actually accountable to a human being that checks in with me, that asks me how it's going. That makes all of the difference. There's a link in my description. It gives you 14 days for free with your own personal health and fitness coach. So you can try it out for free, see if it works, and cancel if it doesn't work, and stick with it if it does. Thanks to all of our supporters over at the Newsroom, which is our Patreon. I deeply appreciate your support every month. For those who want to learn more, there's a link in the description. We sell LUTs and presets, which is how we color our videos and photos. I have a poster that is a bunch of maps that's really fun. And we started a new channel called Search Party with my old colleague Sam Ellis, and it's really good. That's all. Thanks for being here. See ya.
What the fuck? Click discover.
This is the story of a man named
previously prohibited, but now allowed with label. Erotic dances that involve disrobing or disrobing gestures such as holy shit! Popular dances such as twerking, grinding, and pole dancing are now allowed without a label. All right! Is Twitch back? Guys! Ooh. Fresh, hot off the press. We've got something. We've gotten feedback that our policies around sexual content are unclear, so we've drawn clearer boundaries between what is and what isn't permitted on Twitch. We also recognize that not everyone wants to see certain content, so we're updating our criteria for homepage recommendations. Holy fuck. Okay, let's read it. Oh, this is just an image of the same tweet. Okay, let's read this one. Updating our approach to sexual content and content classification labels. Uh-oh. We've received consistent feedback from streamers that our current policies around sexual content are confusing and that it can be difficult to know how their content will be interpreted, how they'll be interpreted based on these policies, which is very true. This is extremely true. We want streamers to feel confident that they understand our rules and viewers to feel like confident that they will experience and respect. To accomplish, we are making 2 changes effective today. Streaming our policies against sexual content and updating criteria used for homepage recommendations. Okay, here's number 1. To be effective, policies need to be easy to understand so the streamer knows what's allowed on the site and what's not allowed. Part of the confusion comes, this is not true. I'm going to stop this right now. Everybody knows what's sexual content. Everybody knows what is and isn't allowed. Sometimes people pretend like they're not doing it, but we all know what it really is. Number 1. So yeah, that's what I think. Pretending, yeah, it's always people, exactly, stop being dishonest. Yeah, people are just so dishonest. Part of the confusion comes from the fact that there are currently 2 separate policies in the community guidelines that address sexual content. There's also an additional section in the content classification guidelines. So basically what they're saying is that going forward, the sexually suggestive content and sexually explicit content policies will be consolidated into the sexual content policy. Okay, great. While consolidating new policies, we've removed portions of the policy that closely resembled language in the content classification guidelines. Okay, so this is all nice, okay. Accurate content using CCLs, believe that some restriction on foreign policies are no longer required. In addition to providing clarity, these updates will also reduce the risk of inconsistent enforcement and bring our policy more in line with the other social media services, okay? The FAQ below provides a high-level summary of some of the changes. You can find full policy language. Okay, so this is number one. A lot of that was just, basically this is just bookkeeping, right? They're saying it's hard to understand what you can and can't do because you have to look 2 different places to find it. Very true, very correct, good change. Number 2. Content recommendations for the homepage. We recognize that not all members of the community want to see certain content, even if it's properly labeled with a content classification label. When a CCL is applied, CCL is content classification label. Okay, I understand now. Viewers must provide explicit consent before they can start watching the stream. Okay, and this is like, yeah, 18 plus. However, if labeled streams are shown on the Twitch homepage, viewers may still see content and stream thumbnails that makes them uncomfortable. So this is what they're talking about. They're talking about you go to the following page and you go to the For You page and you have this situation. Now, obviously, this is a W recommendation because I watch streams like this. But there are other people who get these recommendations who don't. So we'll go back to what they're talking about. And by that is what they're referring to. We want to make sure that the homepage, which is often the first page that viewers land on, is more aligned with viewer expectations. To address this, we are updating the criteria used for homepage recommendations. Streams that are labeled as drugs, intoxication, excessive tobacco use, violent and graphic depictions, gambling, and or sexual themes will no longer be included in homepage recommendation shelves due to the visual nature of these topics. Massive fucking W. This is exactly what I said they should do. And by the way, I think you should be able to turn this off. I think it should be on by default, but you should be able to turn it off if you choose to. If you want to see gamba, if you want to see boobs, turn it off. But it should be on by default. This is extremely reasonable and very good. Streams labeled as mature rated games and profanity will not be affected by this update unless the streamer has also selected one of the labels above. Okay, so games, like basically mature rated games, will not be categorized this way. Viewers can still search for or go directly to channels that are streaming the labeled content on the left bar on the homepage, but streams using these labels will not be surfaced in homepage recommendation shelves. Streams with these labels will be included in category page recommendations so viewers can navigate the appropriate category for this content, which I think is kind of fair. I do think that for just chatting, you should probably remove... there's always going to be people trying to play games, right? And so if you go and you look at just chatting, there will be some people that are effectively doing streams like this and like this. Like this right here, if you look at this stream, like I would say that I think this stream is sexual in nature. I would. I think I would go that far. I would say it. And because of that, I think that in general, any of this stuff, they should have to be in a different category. That is a sexually labeled category. You should not be able to sit in just chatting and circumvent these rules and do the same thing that you should be doing in the hot tub section. Because the reason why people go on just chatting is because the directory has more traffic, so they'll get more viewers. Can I see the example again? Okay. Anyway, but the streamers using these labels not surface. Okay. And making this change helps ensure that viewers will not see content that they haven't consented to seeing. We will continue to explore adding more personalized viewer settings in the future. I think that also, like, one thing that they should do, if this is this type of content, there are people who are going to break this rule. I can guarantee you. Because, like, if you're a girl and you're doing this stuff, you're trying to sell OnlyFans subscriptions, what would you do if you read this? You would say, okay, I'm going to stream in the just chatting section. That way I'm still on people's recommended, and that way I'm still in the larger category, right? So this is clearly what they're going to do. I think they should just have it to where if you have people that are trying to break this rule, you add a blur to their thumbnail. That's all they need to do. That's what I think the solution is. You just blur the thumbnail, and that way people can't see it. Just doing a workout, but it makes it more noticeable. It's not about it being noticeable or not. It's about people seeing it or not. Blurring makes it to where you can't see it. Bro, just ban them? Maybe you could do that too. I mean, I wouldn't ban them. I personally wouldn't. I don't want to ban people for that, but I would just blur it, personally. Let's see here. Maybe there's a better solution I haven't thought of. I'll think about it more. Anyway, making a change helps ensure viewers they have a consent to the seeing. We want to feel confident. Okay, so here's the FAQ. Some types of content that were prohibited will now be allowed on Twitch if appropriately labeled. These changes include previously prohibited, but now allowed with label. Content that deliberately highlights breast. Yes! Even when fully clothed. All right. Streamers found it difficult to determine what was prohibited and what was allowed, and often evaluating whether or not a stream violated this portion of the policy was subjective. In addition, the former sexually content was out of line with industry standards, resulted in female presenting streamers being disproportionately penalized. Well, of course it did, because the female streamers are the ones that are selling their body, because those are the primary audience on OnlyFans. Like, why are we pretending like... I love how you're using this language as if it's just completely disconnected from the obvious reality that we all exist in. Obviously, women are being punished more because women are selling their sexuality more. It's fucking obvious. What are we talking about with this bullshit language? Am I crazy here? Am I taking crazy pills? Jesus Christ. What the fuck is wrong with people? Secton, thanks for the raid. What's up, boys? How y'all doing? Hey. All right, so yeah, anyway, this is a good thing. This is a very, very great thing. The language is fucking stupid, but really the money is what makes it turn. Obviously, this content brings money to the website. Yes, absolutely. Fictionalized. Ooh, this is 2D. Good thing we got Tecton's audience in here. Guys, write this down. Fictionalized, fully exposed female presenting breasts or genitals and buttocks regardless of gender. So now we can have booba streams and it's totally okay. It's totally fucking fine. Wow. Thank God. There is a thriving artist community on Twitch, and this policy was overly punitive and did not reflect the impact of their content. And also, this is true, by the way, with the industry standards. TikTok is full of... It's not porn, but it's basically porn, right? Like, it's full of it. Everybody watches this shit. Like, I open up TikTok. Maybe this is like... I've only been on... the only time I go on TikTok is to watch videos of myself. You know, like, that's it. I think, no, there's actually one girl I thought was really hot. I looked up her TikTok. That was it. So it's like her and then videos that I look up of myself. So yeah, there's two things. Might have been another girl too. I don't remember. Point is that that's literally it. What I'm trying to get at here is that every other social media website has tons of this stuff. And why can't Twitch have it? I think they can. It's totally fine. Do you think porn will take over Twitch now that it's officially allowed? No, because people that want to watch Valorant aren't... Guys, that's just like... that is a small streamer cope. That is a cope from like some fucking boring 35-year-old man that wears a snapback and dyes his beard blue for people to pay attention to him. He's like, man, these titty streamers are stealing all my viewers. No, you're not. No, they're not. Nobody's watching you because you're fucking boring. That's what it is. It's not like, oh, I was gonna watch this loser, but instead I'm gonna go watch a titty streamer. They act like they're a fucking, like a planet, right? Well, two planets. And it's like you get caught in their orbit. That's not what happens. If I'm here to play I want to watch World of Warcraft, I'm gonna go watch World of Warcraft. Like, I'm gonna go watch Rust. Like, there are times that you want to look at porn and times that you want to look at other stuff besides porn. People that are going to look for video game streams are not going to go after, like, oh, I was going to watch video games, but now I guess I have to look at porn. That doesn't make any sense. That's stupid, because if that's the case, then why weren't you just doing that to begin with? There it is. You look at porn for 2 o'clock to 2:10 a.m. tops. There are no fun women streamers. Oh, God. Well, I'm sure if there were, you'd probably get banned in their chat. Yeah, there it is. Oh, my God. So they can draw a hentai now? Well, I think that the obvious, like, this is the reality, is that you can have, I don't think you can be naked. No, nothing here has said that you can be naked. Oh, we're at fictionalized, fully exposed. Oh, wait. Oh, you can do fictionalized. Wow, I actually didn't read that. Yeah, you can. You literally can. I didn't read this right. I'm going to read it again. Fictionalized, fully exposed female breasts or genitals. Holy shit. So I can draw a dick right now. Right now, at this very moment, I can draw a dick. Do it? Okay, give me a minute. I'm gonna pull one up. I'll draw it. All right. That's about right. Okay. And we're almost done. All right. And one last touch. There it is, boys. First dick of the day. How about that? That's a good one. Thanks. Thanks, guys. I mean, look, I'm a professional now. We're going to be doing a lot of these. We're going to be posting a lot of dicks. This is good. VTubers can be nude now. I guess so. Yeah, you're right. And let's see here. Surely this affects the amount of companies willing to advertise on Twitch? No, because the company's advertisements just won't be on these streams. Or they won't be on this content. Like, for example, if you go and I open up the slots category, I don't know if this is going to happen or not, but a lot of times you won't get ads. You see there's no ads? We'll pull up another one. Just, you know. We'll look at this guy here. Maybe I'll get an ad? Well, that's actually a pretty good one. Well, it's 1.2. It's not too bad. He's going to lose some money here. Man, maybe I should play this game myself. I'd probably do way better than him. 1.2. This guy's actually, bro, like, he's doing really well. There you go. There you go. There you go. Come on. Oh, wow, bro. Like, I should, dude, if I invested $1,000 into this. Oh, my God. Dude, all this guy does is win. What the fuck? Like, he's winning every time. Well, whatever. Anyway, point is that Slots doesn't show any categories, right? Or it doesn't show any ads. So an advertiser will just simply not show ads on these categories. You see my point? Wants the outer edge, 16x. 16x is for an outer edge? Dude, that's a scam. It should be like a 2000x for a pachinko machine. What do you mean? I saw Mo hit a 2000x. He won like $3 million. Yeah, like, what a fucking scam. It's 1,000. Yeah. What is this? Raise it or lower it? I guess so. Anyway, let's see this. Body writing on female presenting breasts or buttocks policy regardless of gender. The Twitch attire policy already allows body art on breasts or buttocks, so this change makes the policies consistent. True. Erotic dances that involve disrobing or disrobing gestures such as... Holy shit! They just... Dude! All right! This is amazing. Dan Clancy based? True. Changes to popular dances. Popular dances such as twerking, grinding, and pole dancing are now allowed without a label. All right. I've been waiting on this for years. There's some people I got to show this to, right? I have to let them know. Yeah, this is important. We just can't stay his Twitch back? Guys, I think it's fucking back. Holy shit. This is amazing. This is my chance, yes. Previously, some dances were prohibited and others were allowed without a label. Enforcing on dances, regardless of context, meant our policy prohibited twerking at a wedding or taking a pole dancing exercise class, for example. The policy now takes into context into consideration and only prohibits streaming inside of an adult entertainment establishment. So as long as you are not at a strip club, it's okay. What about a stripper that works from home, right? But like, okay, you know what's really sad? Is the fact that they did this only a week after they banned Twitch in Korea. Think about that. That's fucked up. That's really fucked up. Let's see here. With updates to sexual content policy, are artistic depictions of nudity allowed? It's not hentai, it's art. Content with a focus on fictionalized sexual body parts, regardless of gender, are allowed with a sexual themes label. However, fictionalized sexual acts or masturbation remain prohibited. Reasonable. Is body painting on the breasts and the buttocks allowed on Twitch as long as the attire requirements are met? Holy shit. How does Twitch handle nudity in gaming? We handle nudity in two ways. First, games featuring nudity as sex or anything sexual violence as a core focus of the game are entirely prohibited. Games featuring nudity, pornography, sex, or sexual violence as core are entirely prohibited. I mean, Grand Theft Auto has that. I mean, I don't know how that really makes sense, but okay. No hentai games. Yeah, my stepmom is a Fuda. Is still not playable on Twitch. I think that's the point they're trying to make here, okay? Hopefully in 2024, people will realize the real truth, okay? Anyway, custom gameplay or visual modification. Holy shit! Popular dances such as twerking, grinding, and pole dancing are now allowed without a label.
Change of pace. While you're talking to Mimi, you have a few other options as well. You can move your personal vehicle to any spot in the car meet, which is nice. And you'll also notice that you can take over the car meet for $50,000. To do this though, you're gonna need a few things. First, $50,000, of course. And second, you need to be rank 20 in the LS car meet. What does that mean? Well, Rockstar has introduced a new reputation system in this update. Completely separate to your normal level or any other reputation in the game, This is reputation exclusive to the car meet. You can earn rep by literally just doing anything related to this update. So doing any of the races, the time trials, all of which we'll go over in a second, so don't stress about that. But all you need to know for now is you need to be ranked 20, you need $50,000, and that's going to let you customize the car meet how you like. So you're going to be able to change the banners and host a meet the way you like. The last option with Mimi is you can check the membership stats, which as of day one, as I'm recording this, doesn't actually work yet. As you move around the car meet, there's two different shops. You've got the merch shop, which you can buy a bunch of hoodies, basically just a bunch of different clothing items, of course, for money, and you're gonna need to be a certain rep within the LS car meet. So not just anyone can buy these. If you see someone wearing this, that means they've spent a lot of time grinding this DLC. You've also got another tattoo parlor, which, I mean, always cool to have another tattoo parlor, not gonna complain about that. The next person you can talk to in the car meet is this guy up here. He's gonna let you start up either Pursuit or Street Races, both of which are new with this update, and both are a lot of fun. Street Races are sort of shorter races. You can have anywhere between 3 to 100 laps, and it's completely non-contact. These are really fast-paced, action-packed, tight races, sort of like Tokyo Drift races. These are really cool, really fun. The only complaint I have with them is you don't really earn much money, and of course, completing these will get you LS car meet rep. Pursuit races, on the other hand, are a bit more wild. Everyone in this race is gonna be getting chased by the cops. Your checkpoints are also spread out. This can lead to a few
audio nerds, I'm calling you out. Anyone can review a head. Audio nerds, I'm calling you.
And like, I went to this Fully Sick convention where like I met all.
Valuable loot as possible and return to Woodbury.
What's going on? I became a getaway driver in GTA 5 RP, but in a supercar. During the robberies, I used some of the craziest jumps to help me escape from the cops. The supercar we're going to be using today is this GTR R35. I became a getaway driver in GTA 5 RP, but in a supercar. During the robberies, I used some of the craziest jumps. I became a getaway driver in GTA 5 RP, but in a supercar. During the robberies, I used some of the craziest jumps to help me escape from the cops. The supercar we're going to be using today is this GTR R35. is actually Larry's GTR that I have sold in a previous video, and today we're going to be using it to become a getaway driver. But before we do that, we got to put an ad out. Say getaway services, the fastest in town. We're going to go ahead and submit that, and we are going to wait for it to come. Also, before we start this video, 5,000 likes, I will be doing a getaway driver video, and I will take your guys' top comment idea and use it in the next video. With that being said, let's go ahead and run around and wait for a call. Oh, we're getting a customer. Hello?
Hey, man.
Hey.
I heard you're a getaway driver, man. I need one right now at Big Bank.
Big Bank?
Yes, sir.
You robbing it right now, or what?
I'm robbing it right now.
Are there cops there?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll be there. I'm actually right down the street.
I bet.
All right. Goodbye. Here's our first customer. Hey, what's going on, man? You need me to hold this guy for you or what? All right, yeah, go ahead and let's go inside and rob the bank. Come on, sir.
Just curious.
That's disclosed information. Sir, go get the money. Hey, man. Hey, one officer's going forward, man. We robbing this joint, you feel me? Well, we said we'd chill like that, you hear me? Hey, we need 3,000 for inspection. Understand me? You understand me, 150? Okay. Watch out! Watch out, sir! Watch out! Oh my God! Watch out, sir! Sir, are you nervous? Because I am not.
These cops suck at driving.
They are terrible. We got Nas too. Look at that. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Hit him with some drifts already. Watch this. We've been going for 2 seconds and we're already hitting him with drifts. All right, they're falling behind a little bit, sir. All right, sir. So would you like the express version or would you like the relaxed version of this getaway service? Express? Are you trying to get out of here? Oh! Ouch! Ouchies! Hey! That was scary, sir. I'll be honest. Catch them outside. How about that, alright? Cops are being very aggressive already. I don't know why. But we're gonna make it work. Make it work just like this. There we go. It's a little jump, you know, you can use them. Oh, that guy. Oh, I got one of them with that jump. We gotta use the purge and distract them. I don't think my distraction worked very well. Hey man, I got a question for you. Are you scared of heights? You're not? You're ready. You're ready. Oh! 360! Nailed it! There we go. You ever seen that one before? I don't think so. Best getaway service in town, you know what I'm saying? Just wanna do a U-turn on them. Oh, we're all crashing into each other. What are they doing? Oh my God! Alright, watch this. Oh God. I didn't mean to hit the sign. Ouch! Ouch! Okay, sir. Everything's gonna be alright. Hey man, you know I stole this car, right? Poor guy, but you know, I had to see it. We gotta do some jumps on the orange engine. So we gotta be kind of careful on what we do here. And you know what? I'm gonna hit a racetrack on it. It sounds like we're doing a race. Nope, we're good. We're good. We saved it. Gotta hit some racing lines. You know what? I'm gonna try to lose them with just hitting racing lines instead of jumps, because I've seen a couple comments about people asking about the jumps and not doing them. And today we're gonna do that. And we're already pretty far. Racing line like this. This line like this. Let's send it through here. Through here. That. We get the tunnel. It's nice. We gotta cut through here like this. There's some
कहाँ हो?
या
तू?
आप कहाँ हो? हाँ मैं तो गाड़ी
मैं
में।
तो इधर इधर
इधर
ये देखो पीडीएम के पास।
पीडीएम के पास। हाँ राइट
हाँ।
कॉल पे आना।
मैं ये गाड़ी लेके निकला हूँ
मैं भी
गाड़ी उठाने के लिए।
ये देख मैं भी देखना ये गाड़ी की टायर्स। भाई
भाई
ब्रिज की तरफ आ गया मैं।
हाँ हाँ
ये रहा मैं। ये देख
ये किसकी गाड़ी है बोला?
मैं हूँ पता नहीं कोई लोकल की उठाई मैंने।
उठा लो पीछे उठा लो। घूमेंगे।
अच्छा पीछे कैसे उठाते हैं इस गाड़ी को?
नहीं पता।
हाँ
देखना पड़ेगा कुछ होगा कुछ मसला।
एक मिनट देखता हूँ वेट। कैसे करना है?
रुको।
Oh my god, now what?
कुछ तो होना चाहिए।
इस गाड़ी का नाम क्या है?
नहीं पता एक बार देख लो क्या नाम है।
ये बैटरी चाहिए। नहीं दिख
इसका नाम है स्लैम ट्रक वैपिड।
स्लैम ट्रक वैपिड। एक मिनट देखता हूँ।
1 लाख का गाड़ी है भाई साहब।
1 लाख।
Hey everyone and welcome back. But the new vehicle that is the slam truck just
vehicle. You can, of course, it does not. This truck also comes with default hydraulic system, but you cannot change it or upgrade it. You can adjust the wheel height just like the lowriders we have in this game.
व्हील चेंज कर देते हैं इसका। एक मिनट देखो। इसके चाबी है ना? चाबी ये देखना
कैसे हो रहा है
ये एक्स वापस एक्स।
इसको लोअर करो इसको लो करो एकदम।
ओके
और लो और लो और लो और लो
और लो नहीं होगा।
अब उसमें जाके बैठना एक बार। लगता है चढ़ जाएगा अब, एकदम लो करने से चढ़ जाता है लगता है।
नहीं,
ऊंचा गाड़ी लगेगा।
एक मिनट फिर से देख लो भाई, यहाँ चाबी दो, चाबी दो।
So you really back. I can say partially yes, but very glitchy. I tried storing a couple of cars and a bike. The thing is, the vehicles you put at the back of the truck does not fall immediately, but also does not stay steady. So you really need to drive carefully if you want to carry some cars.
ये गाड़ी कितना का है देखो तो एक बार।
जो रे
हाँ
ज़्यादा की नहीं हुई है, लो राइडर में आती है।
हाँ ऐसा तो लेंगे दोनों घूमेंगे ऐसे।
ये अच्छी कार भी है।
नहीं ये इसका ना 4 सीटर वाला वेरिएंट है ना, वो वाला मस्त लगता है। अर्जुन ऐसे है कि पूरा डाकू डाकू लगेगा भाई, गैंगस्टर।
This is X the one. टायर उठेंगे यार।
टायर उठ गए?
हाँ हाँ उठ गए देखो।
वो कूदा कैसे अभी?
चला ये रहा।
अच्छा अरे क्या सामान लाने जाओगे?
कौन सा सामान?
अभी 3 से खोलना है क्या ना, शाम को खोलोगे मतलब थोड़ा देर बाद खोलोगे? कोई तो है नहीं अभी सिटी में।
अभी वही कर लेते हैं, एक मिनट वो दूसरी कार ला रहा हूँ सामान देखने में।
चलो ले पहन लिया।
हॉस्पिटल जाना है मुझे लाइक बड़ी बड़ी जाना है
अरे कहाँ जाना है इधर
हॉस्पिटल
क्यों क्यों
स्ट्रेस हो
अरे मेरे से ये ले लो खाना ले लो
अरे
देख भाई कोई देखेगा ना भाई काम सुनो ठीक है जब बंदे आ जाएगा ना
लेट्स गो
पहले बोलते मैं चॉकलेट था चॉकलेट खाने से स्ट्रेस
चॉकलेट से होता है
हाँ
पता नहीं
मैं तो इसलिए स्निकर खाता हूँ स्ट्रेस पूरा कम जाता है
देखना कहाँ तक जा सकते हैं
इससे ज्यादा नहीं जा सकते हम लोग एक काम करे गाड़ी लिफ्ट में घुसेगा भाग चलो अरे अरे
ओह भाई 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 ये खा सबसे अच्छी है राजगर के लिए और वो तो बंद है भाई अगर पुलिस के कभी चेस हुई ना तो हम ऐसे ही आएंगे
भाई वो लोग पागल हो जाएंगे भाई
लोग अंदर
वही कुछ इसमें कुछ बोल रहा है ऐसे
कौन
नहीं 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 नहीं
वो चाहिए ना
फंस जाएंगे दोनों कोई एडमिन भी नहीं बचाएगा हम लोगों को बोलेगा तू तड़प तड़प के मर उधर
बहुत अच्छी है पीछे रह गया
वो ये ग्लिच यूज करना
ये बताना मुझे कल बता ये किसी यार
अरे कोई है इधर नहीं ये तो ये है लोकल्स का है
नहीं देखता हूँ वो यहाँ क्या होता है
रेडियो जॉइन कर लो 12.8
8 या 7 7 7 7
ओके मेरे बहुत सारे बक्से हो गए भाई
पता है कितने हो गए
कल का 1000 और आज का 1000 मिला के 2000 है
ये वापस डालने जाते तो वो कर सकता ना सेम ही चीज
कौन सा
हाँ नहीं समझ अरे भाई आराम से अरे भाई
क्या चल रहा है भाई ऐसे में ज्यादा स्मूथ नहीं चल रहा है सिटी।
पता है अभी ज़्यादा लोग नहीं है इसलिए।
भाई 114 FPS।
मैंने तो कैप कर रखा है भाई।
कितने हुए हैं बॉक्स अभी?
देखना 75।
ओके मेरे से 100 बक्स से ले लेना, मैं जितना इधर कर रहा हूँ तुम ले लेना, तब तुम्हारा ज्यादा नहीं करना। मैं उठ रहा यार।
सॉरी।
वो वाला काम कर रहा है?
कौन सा? नहीं वो नहीं
वो जो इन्वेंटरी खोल के बंद कर देना संग संग।
हाँ पता वही कर रहा हूँ। अरे
सुबह का मैं 4 बजे आया था, टोटल नहीं तो 10-15 बंदे इधर बैठे हुए थे।
इधर
भाई ग्राइंड कर रहे थे 10-15 बंदे।
बेचते
अरे उसी दिन वही उसी दिन वाला बंदा जो उस दिन याद है लेजेंड स्क्वायर वाला उधर चल रहा था क्या जेरी भाई ने क्या?
हाँ जेरी हाँ वो भी था यहाँ
फुल उन लोग का टीम लोग। व्हाइट लिस्ट होने का कितना टाइम लगता
मतलब वाइट लिस्ट
है? हाँ
किस चीज़ में?
इसमें ऐसे होता है ना व्हाइट लिस्टेड में।
आई डोंट थिंक ये वाइट लिस्ट है।
नहीं लगता है 7 दिन। वो टीएलएमसी वाला ऑन करके रख दो, 300 मिलता रहे।
हाँ सही याद दिलाया भाई। एक सेकंड देखो।
हाँ
नाइस।
बाहर रह गए ऑन करके रख देना।
भूल जाता हूँ एक बार।
कमिटेड सुसाइड दिखा रहा है।
किसे?
जिंदा हो?
जिंदा।
अरे तुम्हारा इन्वेंटरी फुल है?
मेरा मेरा फुल है। नहीं फुल नहीं है, वो ज़्यादा क्वांटिटी में दे रहा हूँ ना।
अच्छा मैं इसलिए तो को दे रहा था बॉक्सेस लग फुल।
360 है मेरे पे।
मैं 370 दे रहा हूँ, तो हो जाएगा।
ओके ओके।
तुम्हारा 700 हो जाएगा और 300 कर लेना, हो जाएगा। और 300 कर लो, मैं भी कर लेता हूँ। और मैं 400 कर लिया, ठीक है? तुम और 600 कर
ये ओके ओके
बोल रहा हूँ तुम 600 कर लो, मैं इधर खोल के रख दे रहा हूँ, तुम ले लेना मेरे से, ठीक है?
ओके
हाँ
Today we're going to be going over the best trucks in GTA. GTA 5. I don't know what it is, but that is just awesome. And in GTA, guys, I hope you enjoy. $180,000. It has a top speed of 104 miles per hour. It's heavily based off the Ford Bronco compared to compare speed is game, but great, pretty deep for this video. Some of these vehicles will have F1 tires on them. That's because, but the ones that do really give it that wide body look that we want, because I know some vehicles in this game have fender flares, but they don't have the option for any kind of wide body or just spacers that you can even put in between the tires to make them stick out a little bit more. But with the F1s, it makes it look awesome. Anyways, the car costs $875,000, which is pretty expensive, but you're buying a pretty good truck. It's not the best in terms of performance. On this list, it's rated 5th out of all of the trucks in this video, but honestly, I still think it's pretty great. Rockstar did an amazing job of recreating this. It looks incredible, and it's one of the many reasons why I love it. Next up, we have the best vehicle that you can off-road with in GTA 5, the Camacho. It's also my favorite off-roading vehicle. I use it all the time. I know some people think the trophy truck and the Desert Raid are also really good. Actually, they are. They practically tie with the Camacho in terms of its off-roading ability, but the Camacho is so much cheaper than those vehicles. It only costs $345,000, which is really, really good. In terms of performance against the other trucks on this list, the Camacho is number 1. Its top speed is 116 miles per hour. It handles really well, and for an off-road vehicle, the acceleration is pretty great too. It's literally the best off-roading truck in the game. It could climb up nearly 90-degree angles at the side of a mountain, which is awesome. It has tons of power, and it's a really cool looking vehicle. Tons of upgrades as well. I use it all the time. It's really cheap, so I would definitely suggest buying it, especially if you live off-road. Next up, we have the Sand King XL and the Sand King SWB. It's a pretty awesome truck from back in the day. It's not as hyped up anymore, but I think it's still pretty cool. You could find this specific vehicle, the XL version, sitting on the street nearly fully upgraded, which is pretty cool. And honestly, it's a pretty fun truck to drive around. There is one little downside. If you enjoy off-roading, it's not bad at all. The issue is its center of gravity. It's really high up. Like, just take a look at this truck. It's huge, but that's always not a bad thing. Maybe you don't use it so much for off-roading, but for just driving through water if you ever need to, because this will plow through water because it's so high up. It's not bad at off-roading though. You'll still have a lot of fun. It'll be a little bit harder to control, but it's still a really fun vehicle, and the fact that you can get it completely free, nearly fully upgraded, is awesome. Next up, we have the Karen Evron. I'm not a huge fan of Toyota trucks, but this one I really like. It's based off a Toyota Hilux Arctic truck, which honestly I have no idea what that is, to be completely honest, because like I said, I'm not a
The main features of the Finnish people and the Finnish armed forces, you could describe it by saying sisu, which is mental resilience and readiness to cope with harsh conditions, and still you are able to continue. We say that ketju on yhtä vahva kuin sen heikoin lenkki. And that means that the chain is as strong as its weakest link. So we want to make sure that our chain is very durable.
Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine not only changed the security landscape in Europe, it also acted as a catalyst for Finland's accession to NATO, membership which was confirmed in April 2023.
We decided to join because we saw that the membership would increase our security to this new environment that is foreseen. That's the very basic, simple reason.
But from a military and geographic standpoint, what does NATO membership mean for the country itself, and what does Finland bring to the NATO alliance?
We share the same neighbor than the Ukrainians. It means that also we can provide some experience and expertise about how the Russians they are behaving in our neighborhood.
We have a 1,300 kilometers long eastern border with Russia. That is something we have to always keep in mind. Even as a member of NATO, Finland is responsible for defending its own country.
Finland's membership of NATO effectively doubled the size of the border between NATO allies and Russia, and that border requires monitoring at all times.
Eli ollaan Sallan rajavartioalueella ja tarkistetaan raja, Suomen ja Venäjän välinen raja. Minä olen koiraohjaajana, toimin täällä ja koira ilmaisee, jos on tullut raja yli henkilöitä, niin koira ottaa sen jälleen ylös.
Well equipped and with military training, the Finnish border guard operates under the Ministry of Interior. However, if a crisis was to occur here, they could be integrated into the Finnish Defence Forces and could therefore be the first line of defence.
No kyllä minun mielestä on tosi tärkeää, että se on valvottu on. Pidän tärkeänä. No se on olla itsenäisessä Suomessa ja sen takia. Eli haluan, että Suomi on jatkossakin itsenäinen maa.
And while there is no immediate threat on the border, this proximity to Russia is what prompted Finland to abandon their neutral status and join the alliance. But membership in this region works both ways.
If you think about our location in High North region and also the Baltic Sea region, both areas with significant strategic value, and we are one of the stakeholders in this area, so it is important.
Finland has a population of just 5.5 million. However, the wartime strength of its armed forces is a substantial 280,000. And the reason for that is its comprehensive conscription service.
Conscription is the core of our system. It's a glue which combines the whole Finnish nation. Everybody has been 10 with other kids, right? Everybody has been taking part in this, having field rations, getting cold, getting wet, and fighting together.
According to the Finnish constitution, every citizen is obligated to take part in national defence. All men between 18 and 60 must complete military service, and women can participate on a voluntary basis.
Intti on aina ollut mun haave. Siis mä oon pienestä asti aina haaveillut, että jotenkin kun isovanhemmat tai niin kuin pappa varsinkin kertonut tarinoita sen omista kokemuksista Suomen niin kuin armeijassa, niin tuli semmoinen fiilis, että vitsi, että mäkin haluan lähteä. Ja jotenkin muutenkin semmoinen niin kuin maanpuolustustahto, että kyllä mä niin kuin täällä haluan olla.
We have seen the increasing number in willingness to defend the country after the war started in Ukraine. The numbers were high already before, but now all the people, men and women, are told to do something for his or her country.
Finland also has one of the largest artillery capabilities in Europe, with an arsenal of approximately 1,500 weapons.
We have a modern system of far-reaching joint fires, but the main essence of our defense system and extra value for NATO is our capabilities to fight a long-lasting warfare in deep forest area. Finnish joining to NATO increases the safety and
5000 हो गया कितने में 40 मिनट्स
40 सही।
तो अच्छा है ना फिर इस हिसाब से।
हाँ
फिर तभी कह रहा हूँ आपको कर लो आप ये ज़्यादा अच्छा है। गुड मॉर्निंग माय मैन।
अटक गया हूँ मैं।
आती तुमको शीट दे रहा हूँ सॉरी ब्रो ले लो। आई क्या हुआ क्या तुम्हारे साथ?
I don't know, some error came up.
Yeah, okay.
Alright, I'm back. What's the sheet about?
ये गाड़ी का है। अच्छा कल का थोड़ा तुम्हारा था ना मैंने कहा था तुमको एक कर दूंगा एक 50 कर दूंगा तुमको ठीक है?
गाड़ी का नाम जीप लैंडी है ना?
सुन रहे हो ना यूनुस क्या कह रहा हूँ मैं तुम्हें?
Oh yeah. Can you not hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you Badri. Hello?
One second.
This is oil pump.
Nah, let's go.
Oil pump, battery cable, cylinder head.
You want me to do the mods, right? The cosmetics? Primary,
Yeah,
secondary.
yes. First. आपका ये like A to Z कर दो ना इस गाड़ी को फिलहाल के लिए, right? हाँ। इसका हार्डनेस वगैरह तो सुनो ना यस तो इनका भी कर देना ठीक है प्रियांशु भाई को जेंटोनो जो है उसका भी देख लो कॉस्मेटिक्स हाँ या कॉस्मेटिक्स का राइट क्या क्या चाहिए उसमें
You fucking kidding me right now, guys? Primary, black. Secondary, carbon black.
उनके लिवरी का मैं कर देता हूँ है तुम पे प्लास्टिक
Yeah, I have.
हाँ ऑलराइट कर लो फिर लिवरी कर दो कॉस्मेटिक्स का all right. Cylinder head.
इसका करा दो ना।
आप यहाँ पे मैकेनिक हो क्या?
एक मिनट रुको। हाँ हाँ क्या हुआ?
तो गाड़ी रिपेयर मारनी थी जरा।
एक मिनट रुको।
अरे भाई साहब आपका नाम क्या है?
कोको चोको।
अरे चोको चोको
बोलो ना।
पहचाना?
पहचाना
दूसरी किस?
नाम बता दो यार एक बार पहचान।
निकलॉग ओके।
क्या हुआ?
सुन रहे हो मैं क्या कह रहा था?
क्या?
हेलो ब्रो सॉरी उसका ना टायर का नहीं करना था शीट में बोलना था।
अरे क्या हाल चाल? सब बढ़िया।
स्टॉक कर दो
अरे सुबह पहचाना नहीं सुनामी आने से पहले।
अभी देखो ना अभी लाइक मैं कर रहा हूँ ठीक है थोड़ा सिस्टम बैठा रहा हूँ मैं तो शायद हम लोग को ना
ये
मेटल्स
क्या
की
हो गया
दिक्कत नहीं
मेरे
आएगी अब से
को?
पूरा स्टेज भरा रहेगा देखना।
सही।
तो वहाँ से एकदम करते रहना और क्या।
ओके।
जॉब मिला कहीं पे?
नहीं
नहीं मिला अभी तक? अरे मैंने अब तक 4 जॉब चेंज कर ली है भगवान।
अरे
ऐसे ही।
अरे उस दिन ना मैं आ गया था मालूम है
सुन रहे हो आपका परफॉर्मेंस पूरा
अरे वो डुफी ने बाद में बताया ना।
उसमें भी लाइक
अरे मत
में ही
आ गया ना
आपका आर्मर भी मैंने
ऐसे
करवा
ऐसे नहीं होता ऐसे नहीं होता।
इसका भी कॉस्मेटिक्स का अरे वो गलती से वो टायर में चार्ट
गाड़ी
था ना तो
तुम्हारा
उस
ही
हिसाब
है?
से कर दिया उसने हटा देता उसको हटा देता हूँ।
क्या करते हो?
स्टॉक ही ना।
स्टॉक ही कर लो इसको बाकी लीव
ये 8 लाख की है ना
में
ये?
बना दे रहा हूँ।
ये नहीं पता ये कितने की है ये उसमें मिला प्ले टाइम स्टॉक।
अरे इसकी ऐसे ओके ओके ओके।
हाँ
ये 8 लाख का गाड़ी है भाई।
गाड़ी ऐसी थी ना?
नहीं
हाँ गाड़ी इसी तरह थी। अच्छा इसके रिम कलर चेंज होते हैं?
मुझे लगा
थोड़ा सा अगर
पीडीएम में एक ऐसा
एल्युमिनियम
गाड़ी है
शेड
थोड़ी
में
सी
जाएं।
देखो ना।
एल्युमिनियम
पीछे से सेम वैसे दिख रहा है ऊपर से।
अच्छा
हाँ भाई बहुत
मॉडिफिकेशन
340 क्या?
किस टाइप में चाहिए?
और वो दूसरा प्ले टाइम जो
अलॉय
8x वाला है
एल्युमिनियम
ना
टाइप।
बट का ऑफ रोडिंग चाहिए या फिर
वो
ऐसी
है
एस
किसी के पास शहर में?
नहीं इसी में कलर नहीं चेंज होंगे?
नोप इसमें नहीं
नो
होता।
स्टॉक
फिर
में
ये
नहीं
ठीक
होता।
है स्टॉक ही ठीक है।
अरे मेरे
ये
पास एक
स्टॉक
गाड़ी
अच्छी
है
लग
जो
रही है
पूरे
यार।
शहर
हाँ
में
स्टॉक ही अच्छी है फिर।
अच्छा हाँ वो बात कर रहे थे
अच्छा पर्सन वगैरह देख
अरे
लेना
उसको
इसका जो है ना ब्लैक
लिवरी
कलर मैट ब्लैक करना है
मैं
और
लिवरी का
पर्सन
कर दे रहा
वगैरह
हूँ।
देख लेना। आई थिंक वाइट के अलावा जो है थोड़ा सा करना ताकि जो है ना थोड़ा सा मतलब
नहीं
शेड रहे ग्रेस रहे ब्लैक का जो है ना।
इसके पास
वो तो एज इट इज वो
अरे
चार्ट के हिसाब से
वो नहीं
कर ही देगा हो जाएगा देखना
और एक है
कलर
मेरा
कर
सही
देना
भाई
ना।
है
हो गया
छोटा
वो
भाई।
कलर हो गया मैंने।
तो
हाँ
वो
देखना
मेरे से
अभी
पहले से लाइक
लिवरी में हो जाएगा इसका
जब भी
शायद
शहर
अभी देख
वो हुआ ना
नहीं
डेवलप होना स्टार्ट हुआ तब से है वो
समझ रहे
शहर में।
यार
तो हाँ मतलब ये पूरा
इसका
लाइक गांव टाइप था तब से
बाकी
है ऐसे
इसका
समझ लो।
जेनॉन का भी कर दूं क्या? वो हार्नेस भी
हाँ
है इनका। अच्छा
तो भाई उसके पास ऐसी सी गाड़ियां
और
है
आई
ना
थिंक फ्रंट मिरर्स।
जो
हाँ
पूरे
वो चेंज हो जाएगा
ये
इसका वो किया था टिंट कर दिया तुमने?
वन पीस इट
टेंट नहीं
मींस
किया टेंट नहीं था शीट में।
नहीं किया ना
किसी
मत
को
करो मत करो
मिलेगी
मत
भी
करो
नहीं
ये हट
और
जाएगा
किसी को
डोंट वरी।
पता भी नहीं है ऐसी गाड़ी है जो
एक
गाड़ियां
जेनॉन बना के
बैन
लाओ
है ना
अंदर से वहाँ से
वो
जेनॉन बना लो
गाड़ियां
एक
भी है उसके पास
जेनॉन
विदाउट नंबर प्लेट वाली गाड़ियां है।
और एक हार्नेस बना लेना ठीक है मैं मेटल डाल रहा हूँ अंदर।
500 करोड़ की गाड़ी के पास पड़ी
20
हुई है, बट
प्लास्टिक,
वो
20
इलीगल
स्टील
है
और
गाड़ी।
20 रबड़ चाहिए थी ना? ठीक
हाँ
है, कर दे रहा
हाँ,
हूँ।
अरे सुनने में देखो कैसा लग रहा है। वो गाड़ी इतनी
मैं डाल दे
खतरनाक
रहा हूँ,
है।
अंदर डाल दे रहा हूँ।
एक तो बुलेट प्रूफ है, ऊपर से वो जमीन पे भी चलेगी, पानी में भी चलती है। ये तो कुछ भी नहीं है, उससे तू फायर कर सकता है, मिसाइल मार सकता है। मतलब ये बात बस बताना
बना
नहीं,
लिया ब्रो?
मैंने नाम इसलिए नहीं
हार्नेस
बताया
बना रहा
किसके
हूँ,
पास है।
जेनोन एंड
बना
हार्नेस एक साथ
साला
दे रहा हूँ।
या
अबे
बना लो,
वो हो जाएगा।
बना लो, कर दो। आप ही लगा दो, आप ही लगा दो, आप ही लगा दो। नो डोंट
गाड़ियाँ रखी है एक सीक्रेट जगह पे, मीन्स कौन से पार्किंग में वो नहीं बताऊंगा, बट हाँ वो पार्किंग बहुत खुफिया पार्किंग है। क्योंकि क्योंकि अरे गलती से निकल गई पब्लिक
जेनोन
पार्किंग में
लग
तो
नहीं
सीन
रहा,
हो
मूव
जाएगा ना।
क्लोजर टू द लाइट। आप
मेरे को दो।
पहले तो वहाँ पे
अब हार्नेस का देख लो इसका।
बहुत लोग होते थे दो पार्किंग में, बट वहाँ पे अभी नहीं है, वो जगह चेंज हो गई इसलिए।
कैन यू गिव मी द कीज?
क्या करने आए थे वैसे?
क्या मैं
इसका जेनॉन का लगेगा ही
उसको
नहीं
क्या
क्या?
बोलते हैं, या मैं
नो आइडिया। वो
उसका गाड़ी ले कोई भाग
उसके
गया था, ये
लाइट
वाला डिफेंडर उसको पकड़ने गया,
इससे
ये
क्लोज तो
ये
नहीं आ
साला
सकता
गाड़ी
भाई।
छूट गई।
ये रहे हार्नेस लगे।
प्रियांशु राइट ना?
हाँ
नंबर नहीं गया आज।
ओए मूव क्लोजर टू हेडलाइट भाई, और कितना क्लोज हूँ? इंजन खोल दूं क्या इसका लाइट के साथ?
कब? शायद
सही
सिटी
इस
में
तरफ
नहीं
आना है,
रहूंगा।
बीच की तरफ यहाँ पे।
हाँ फिर उसके बाद कॉल किया ना, उसके
हाँ
बाद
देख
पता
लेते हैं
चले
यार,
गया
कहीं पे होता है तो।
पता नहीं कॉल आया तो नहीं था।
होता। रुको एक मिनट, किधर है? एक
कॉल
फोन
आता तो मैं पिक कर लेता हूँ बस।
ये
क्यों
फिर
नहीं हो
इससे
रहा
कर लो,
ऐसे?
इससे कर लो। ये
आज तो थोड़ा कुछ और देख
ट्यूनर।
रहा था मैं।
हाँ
अरे हाँ, एक चीज वो करता हूँ आज। फ्री हो
ट्यूनर
ना
है
अभी?
आप पे?
हाँ मेरे पे।
रुको एक
लाओ
मिनट,
फिर
वो
दो।
गाड़ी मेरे को रिपेयर मारने दो, हम लोग जाते हैं।
ट्यून भी कर दूं क्या गाड़ी को?
एक चीज
भाग तो सब
भाई
पागल
इतना
जैसे
तगड़ा,
भाग।
बस बताना नहीं किसी को। भाई साहब ये गाड़ी का रिपेयर मारना।
ओके वन सेकंड।
अब लाइट्स देखो, ठीक है इसका।
मुझे मेरी शायद आंखों का मसला, मुझे लाइट्स वगैरह दिखेंगी नहीं।
मुझे भी नहीं दिख रही लाइट।
तो नीचे रेड कर दूं ना, और आगे
और
रेड।
टायर डाल देना, लेफ्ट साइड फ्रंट वाला टायर चला गया है।
टायर ओके।
हाँ सामने तो ये होगा नहीं, सामने ये कर दो ब्लूइश टाइप।
मुझे दिखेगी नहीं लाइटें
हेलो
फिलहाल,
चको
मुझे
भाई।
नहीं दिख रही कौन सी, मतलब अगर रेड वाइब में आ रही है उस तरह की कर दो, ताकि थोड़ी सी डेविल लुक टाइप हो।
फिलहाल रेड का ना सीन क्या है, इसमें ना जेनॉन का इशू आ रहा है, समझ रहे हो? तो मैं एक
एक मिनट टायर
ट्यूनर
लेगा
चिप आता है तो उससे लाइट चेंज कर रहा हूँ, तो उसमें हेडलाइट
अरे हाँ मेरे पास है शायद, रुको जरा देखने दो। ये कट करने दो मुझे पहले, किधर गया वो?
फैजान कौन है?
ये तुम्हारा ही है ना? तो रिंगटोन कौन सा बजता है, मुझे वो देखना है अभी। अरे सेम बज रहा है क्या? अरे यार मैंने सेट किया था, कोई ना कर दूंगा वापस। एक काम करते हैं हम लोग, जाते हैं यहाँ से, बेचारा टायर बदल रहा है, हम लोग जाते। नहीं वो वाला गाड़ी अपग्रेड है, रहने दो।
हो गया सर।
कितना हो?
10।
कितना?
10।
अरे टायर 3 का है, रिपेयरिंग का कितना लिया?
इसके एक सेकंड, इसके मैं बता रहा हूँ क्या ख़राब था। इसका ख़राब था इंजन, बॉडी, ऑयल, एक्स, स्पार्क, कार बैटरी और टायर।
हाँ नहीं काम मैंने भी करा है, मैंने अभी पीडीएम जॉब ली है वैसे। हाँ तो वही बोल रहा हूँ, आप ज्यादा बता रहे हो।
नहीं मैं ज़्यादा नहीं बता रहा, मैं सही बता रहा हूँ।
हाँ देखो, मैं बता रहा हूँ ना, एक टायर डाला उसका 3,000 होता है, और
नहीं
अगर पूरा
एक टायर का 1,000 है।
कितना?
1,000।
हाँ तो एक ही टायर डालना था ना।
या एक ही टायर डालना था, एंड उसमें
हाँ
और भी खराबी आती है यार। उसमें क्या
हाँ तो
होता है, सिर्फ टायर की नहीं होता है, इंजन की भी होते हैं, बॉडी की भी होते हैं, ऑयल भी होता है।
हाँ हाँ, पता है मुझे। ऑयल ऑयल डलवाया क्या गाड़ी में? ए, मैंने बस रिपेयर करने के लिए बोला था।
तो सर आपने कहा था रिपेयर करने को, बट ओके।
हाँ, बोला रिपेयर करो और टायर डालो, इतना ही बोला था मैंने।
उसके भी 10,000 लगेंगे फिर भी।
ठीक है, अभी काट लो तुम, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। नाम क्या बोला? हाँ जी सर।
काट रहा हूँ मैं, उसके बाद नाम बताता हूँ।
हाँ।
पेपाल क्या?
पेपाल 22 है।
कार्ड या कैश?
कार्ड कार्ड।
there you go. यूनुस डॉट आईडी दिखा देता हूँ।
कार्ड दिया ये। इधर चलो, पीडीएम चलो, पीडीएम पीडीएम।
एक ट्रक एक लेके गए थे,
पीडीएम
जीप दो बन गई।
दो बन गई।
भाई साहब गाड़ी थोड़ा पीछे लोगे, मेरे को गाड़ी निकालना है सामने वाला।
एक
मिनट, अबे गलती से लग गया, सॉरी।
हाँ आपका हो गया था गाड़ी का। हाँ कोई मैं इसमें 2 मिनट में आ रहा हूँ, ठीक है? उनको रिसाइकल का वो करके।
Hello.
Security in Europe and especially in the Baltic Sea region.
टेक्स्ट भेजता हूँ। एक मिनट यूनुस, इनका कर देता हूँ मैं पहले। चौधरी जी किधर है? हाँ, नंबर आपका क्या हुआ? अरे नंबर आपका
रुको,
आया
मैं
ही नहीं, सेव
आई
नहीं हुआ।
थिंक मैंने कॉल ही नहीं थी कि मैं रुको करता हूँ।
हाँ हाँ, मेरे को ना वो कर दो एक बार। नहीं नहीं, मतलब भेज दो आप नंबर में, सेव नहीं हुई, सेव कर लूँगा सीधा ही। ओए यूनुस ब्रो, ये गाड़ी अच्छी लग रही है ना, देखो।
Oh yeah.
Tuner chip, I have to go. Oh yeah, sure. तो आपका ट्यूनर चिप, सॉरी।
यार मुझे वो चॉप चॉप नहीं है।
मैं भी जाऊंगा आपके साथ आज तो।
हो गया नंबर शेयर?